Good day, everyone. Welcome to Training and Development. Today, we will present our Week 4 topic, the Training Delivery Methods. This module will focus on the study of various training delivery methods and their role in enhancing the effectiveness of learning and development programs. The module examines 5 key areas. First, it introduces traditional training methods, such as classroom lectures and face-to-face instruction, which emphasize direct interaction and structured learning. Second, it will discuss about modern training approaches, which are learner-centered, interactive, and adaptable to the needs of a dynamic workplace. Third, the module discusses electronic or e-learning and technology integration, which provide flexible and accessible training opportunities through the use of digital platforms and online tools. Other one is the adult learning principles. Lastly, the facilitation skills. It emphasizes the importance of facilitation skills which enable trainers to effectively manage learning environments, foster participation, and ensure that objectives are achieved. By studying these components, the module aims to develop a comprehensive understanding of how different delivery methods can be applied in practice. It also highlights the importance of selecting the most appropriate methods based on organizational goals, available resources, and the specific learning needs of participants. Before we dive into the main topic of this module, Ashley Santos will introduce what is training delivery methods and its importance.
Good day everyone. Today I'll discuss the learning objective of training delivery methods. There are three main objectives. The number one is define the concept of training delivery methods and explain their importance in organizational learning. Number two, understand different training delivery methods. And the last one is apply basic training methods. The next one is introduction. Learning some information, skill, or attitude is the goal of any training intervention. This chapter will provide information on all areas related to learning. It is important for training practitioners to understand what adult learning entails in order for them to deliver the best learning experience to their learners. Training practitioners need to understand the type of learners that adult learners are, their various learning style, and which learning principles should be employed when training adult learners. Trainers should also understand relevant and applicable learner theories to provide the best and effective learning experience. The next one is training delivery methods. Training delivery methods are the techniques and tools used to transmit knowledge, skills, and attitude to learners to help them achieve learning goals. These methods can range from hands-on, on-the-job training, structured classroom-based lectures, and interactive discussion to self-paced e-learning, and even remote virtual training. So this part explain the different ways trainers can teach learners. This method includes hands-on work training, classroom lesson, group discussion, online learning, and virtual classes. Each method helps learners gain the knowledge, skills, and attitude they need. So the next is importance of training delivery methods. The choice of training delivery method can have a significant impact on employee performance and overall organizational success. A well-designed and executed training program can enhance employee skills, knowledge, and motivation, leading to improved job performance and job satisfaction. So the importance of training delivery method is how the way training delivered matter, because it affects how well employees learn and apply a new skill. Choosing the right method like in-person, online, or hands-on training. And also it can improve employee performance, boost motivation, and help the organizational to succeed.
In training delivery methods, there are two types of methods, which is the on-the-job methods and off-the-job methods. So on the job methods, it refers to the methods of training in which a person learns a job by actually doing or performing the task. A person works on a job and learns and develops expertise at the same time. So on the job methods, it refers to the process where an employee learns by performing actual work tasks under real workplace conditions. So instead of just listening and reading about procedures, the learner directly experiences the tasks and responsibilities of the job. This method will allow trainees to apply the learning immediately, gain hands-on experience, and develop practical skills that are relevant to their role. It is often guided by supervisors, mentors, or more experienced employees, and who provide instructions, feedback, and support while the trainee is performing the job. So, for example of this is a new cashier in a supermarket. She will be trained directly at the checkout counter. Instead of only studying how the system works, the trainee will handle actual customers, scan items, and process payment. So the off-the-job methods. These methods require trainees to leave their workplace and concentrate their entire time towards the training objectives. So the off-the-job methods naman ay it requires employees or trainees to step away from their regular work environment just to focus entirely on the learning process. So unlike on the job methods, this type of training is conducted in a separate setting such as classrooms, training centers, seminars, or workshops. The main advantage is that learners can give their full attention to the training without the distractions and pressures of day-to-day work. So, of the job methods often include lectures, simulations, role plays, case studies, or electronic or e-learning sessions. So the example of these methods is a company sending HR staff to attend a 2-day seminar about the employee relations in another hotel training center. So during the seminar, participants will learn a new skills while they are engaging in discussions, and they will be analyzing case studies without worrying about the regular office tasks. And after the training, they will return to work to equip with new knowledge and skills that they can apply in handling employee-related concerns. Next is the categorization of training delivery methods. There are 3 types of categorization of training delivery methods: the synchronous learning, asynchronous learning, and blended learning. Asynchronous learning, it learn happens in real time, either in physical or virtual environment. So asynchronous learning means that learners study and complete their training at their own pace and their own schedule. So in this learning, materials usually provided as recorded lectures, online modules, discussion boards, or e-learning platforms, so the learners can access them anytime. So synchronous learning means that the learning process happens at the same time for both the teacher or trainer and the learners. And this can take place in a classroom setting or in a virtual environment like Zoom, Gmeet, or Microsoft Teams. For example of this is a group of a new employee. They are attended the live online training session about company policies. The trainer explains the rules, answers questions on the spot, and uses role-playing activities to make the session more interactive. And the importance of this is DR provides instant feedback and clarification, and they are building a teamwork and interactions among the participants. So asynchronous learning means that learners study and complete their training at their own pace and their own schedule. So in this learning, materials usually provided as recorded lectures, online modules, discussion boards, or e-learning platforms, so the learners can access them anytime. So asynchronous learning means that learners study and complete their training at their own pace and on their own schedule. Unlike synchronous learning, it does not require participants and trainers to be present at the same time. Materials such as recorded lectures, online modules, discussion boards, or electronic or e-learning platforms are usually provided so learners can access them anytime. And this type of learning is flexible and especially helpful for people with different schedules or learning speeds. So for example of this is an employee who takes an online course through e-learning platforms. So the lesson there will be posted pre-recorded videos, readings, and quizzes that the employee can finish during free time, either at work, at home, or without needing to attend live classes. So the last category is the blended learning. Blended learning is a mixture of the previous approaches to learning. Blended learning is carried out both in physical space, where the session might be instructor lead, and in a digital environment, or either as a self-paced or electronic learning or e-learning session or as a live digital space. Blended learning is a method that combines face-to-face learning and online learning. So when it comes to face-to-face, like classroom sessions or live discussions, while online learning is like e-learning modules, recorded lectures, or virtual classes. This method takes the strength of both synchronous and asynchronous learning and it brings them together in one training program. So in this way, learners can be benefit from structure and interaction of live sessions, while also enjoying the flexibility and independence of self-paced online learning. So for example of this is a company organizes a leadership training program for supervisors. So the participants will attend through live classroom session with an instructor to learn the fundamentals of leadership and teamwork. And afterwards, they join a live online discussion via Zoom to share what they learned and apply it to workplace scenarios. So the importance of this is this methods offers flexibility to learners so the learners can balance live sessions or self-paced activities. And another one is this methods is suitable for different types of learners, whether they prefer direct interaction, hands-on experience, or self-study. So there are some common training delivery methods. First, the classroom training, webinars, instructor-led training, virtual instructor-led training, on-the-job training, mentoring, workshops, and seminars and group discussions. So classroom training is a traditional method where trainees and trainers meet in a physical classroom. It usually involves lectures, presentations, and interactive activities. So example is a college students attending a human resource management class. So the importance of this is they encourages face-to-face interaction, immediate feedback, and structured learning. Next one is the webinars. A webinar is an online seminar conducted over the internet. It allows many participants to join from different locations at the same time. So next is the instructor-led training or ILT. This is training guided by an instructor in real time, either in a classroom or through online platforms. The instructor controls the piece and content. So for examples is a manager conducting a product training session for new sales representatives. Next is a virtual instructor lead training or VILT. This is similar to instructor led training, but it conducted online in a virtual classroom using tools like Zoom, or Gmeet. It often includes live discussions, breakout rooms, and interactive tools. For example, is a company delivering leadership training via Zoom with group activities and breakout rooms. For example, is the one of the organization conducted a webinar about the stress management at work for employees worldwide. Next is mentoring. This method involves a more experienced employee called mentor while guiding and supporting a less experienced one called mentee. It focuses on personal and professional development. So for example, is a senior HR officer mentoring a new HR assistant on handling employee concerns. Next is workshop. Workshop are interactive training sessions where participants actively engage in activities, group tasks, and problem-solving exercises. For example, is a workshop on team collaboration where participants do group exercises and role plays. Seminars and group discussions. Seminars are formal presentations on specific topic, often followed by group discussions to deepen understanding. So for example, is a seminar on about the labor law where practitioners share insights and discuss real-life cases. So these common methods show that training can be delivered in different ways, from traditional face-to-face to online, from formal lectures to interactive mentoring. Each has its own strengths depending on the topic, learners, and organizational goals. At this point, let's dive into the five main topics of training delivery methods. The first topic will be discussed by Hussein Nino Balo.
Traditional training methods, it describes presentation methods like picture and audiovisual techniques that transmit information to the trains. It also outlines on hand-on methods that actually involve trains, like on-the-job training, simulation, case study, and role play. Finally, it describes group building and methods aimed to the improving team effectiveness and such adventure learnings, team training, and actually learning. So, pag sinabi nating traditional training methods, it involve person, structure, approaching that focus on direct knowledge, transfer, and they often included lecture, demonstration, and hand-on activities such as simulation, case study, and role play. These methods is emphasize are structured learners, improvement, and direct instruction between the training and trainings. Here are the main traditional training methods. First, we have lecture methods. It involves the training delivery information to the audience typically through presentation and verbal explanation. Second, we have the job training that occurs to the actual work environment where employers learn by information tasks under the supervision. Third, we have case study. Trains analyze real or hypothetical business scenario to develop problem solving and decision making skills. Fourth, we have role play. Participant act a specific role in simulate scenario that practice interpersonal and communication skills. Fifth, we have apprenticeship, a structured learnings trainings program where involves learn skills, trade to hand-on experience, and guidance from the experienced mentor. Last is the simulation using the realistic models or scenario to reflect real-world situations allowed to trains to participate, practice, skills in the safe environment. Key concept of theories. Behavioral learning theories. Behaviorism center on the idea that people learn by interacting with their environments through a system of stimuli and response. Here are the key concepts of behavioral learning's theory. First, we have reinforcement. Reinforcement, this is involved strengthening a behavior through reward, positive reinforcement, or removing negative stimuli. Stimulus generation and discrimination. Stimulus generation, this is the process by which organism responds the new stimuli that are similar original condition stimulus. So stimulus discrimination, this is the ability to distinguish between different stimuli and respond only the specific condition.
What are the importance of traditional training method? Traditional training methods are the conventional ways of teaching and developing skills that focus on face-to-face interaction between the trainer and the learners. These methods have been used for a long time and are still effective today in many settings. Traditional training method prioritize a direct in-person instruction where the learners rely on the trainer's expertise and the learner's active participation in a shared physical spaces. The key characteristic of traditional training method is a trainer or instructor delivered the content and the guides the learning process. The training follows a predefined syllabus with a specific objectives. The learners typically participate in a classroom or a workshop environment. Importance of traditional training method is despite the rising digital learning, traditional training methods remain important for the several reasons. First is the direct interaction. It facilitates immediate feedback, clarification, and personalized guidance. Social learning, it encourages the collaboration with the peer learning and the network among the participants. Hands-on experience. It provides opportunity for a practical exercises, demonstration, and real-time application of the knowledge. And it engage and motivation to a face-to-face interaction can enhance engagement, motivation, and sense of a community among the learners. One of the example of training method is lectures. A trainer presents information to a group of learners, often using visual aids such as slides or whiteboards. One of the example is professor delivers a lecture on a marketing principle to a class of business students. Next is workshop, where participants engage in hands-on activities, exercise, and group discussion to develop specific skills. One of the examples is a workshop on project management techniques where participants practice using project planning tools. Next is the role play. Role-playing learners act out scenarios to practice communication, problem solving, and customer service skills. And lastly is the case study. Learners analyze real-world business situations and develop solution or recommendation based on the information provided. Here are the benefits of traditional training methods. First is the face-to-face interaction. Learners can directly ask questions and get instant feedbacks. It's important because it allows learners to ask questions directly and receive instant feedback, clarifying the doubts, and reinforcing understanding in real time. One of the examples of this is the student raised their hand during a lecture to ask a professor about the confusing concept and receives an immediate explanation. Second is the better communication. Better communication, trainers can explain clearly and use body language to make a lesson engaging. It enhances communication through a verbal and non-verbal cues. It is important because trainers can explain concept clearly and use body language, visual aids, and tone of voice to make lesson more engaging and understandable. One of the example is a trainer used gesture and facial expression to emphasize key points during a presentation, keeping the audience engaged. Next is the hands-on practice. Activities like role-play, workshop, and case study build real skills. It is also important activities like role-playing, workshop, and case study enable learners to apply theoretical knowledge in practical scenarios, building real-world skills. One of the example is the medical student practice surgical techniques on mannequins in a simulated operating room. Next is discipline and focus. Classroom settings reduce distractions and keeping learners attentive. It is important to classroom settings reduce distraction and promote attentiveness, helping learners to stay focused on the training materials. One of the example is students in a quiet classroom are more likely to concentrate on their studies compared to a noisy environment. And lastly, teamwork development. Group activities encourage cooperation and sharing ideas. It is important to group activities encourage cooperation, communication, and sharing of the ideas, fostering the teamwork and problem-solving skills. One of the example of this is employee participate in team building exercise that requires them to work together to solve a complex problem. By leveraging these benefits and implementing effective strategies, organization can minimize an impact of traditional training methods and achieve their learning objectives. Good day everyone, I'm going to discuss the modern training approaches. 21st century learning. 21st century learning is learning that is aimed to address the 21st century environment of globalization, fast technological changes, political, social, and business environments. It is concerned with the using modern training methods and technologies to provide skills that will fit in the 21st century challenges and context. The 21st century learning is a modern training approaches that designed to equip individuals with the skills needed to navigate today's complex and rapidly evolving world. 21st century learning addresses the demands of globalization, technological advancement, and shifting political, social, and business landscape by using the modern training methods and technologies. The importance of 21st century learning is, first is to ensure the skills remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. Next is the foster adaptability to new technologies and environments. And third is to enhance our competitiveness in the global job market. One of the example of modern 21st century learning is online courses. Online courses is a flexible, learning accessible worldwide. Next is the virtual reality training. Virtual reality training is immersive experience for practical skills development. And the last is the data analytic education. It is equipping the professional to interpret and utilize data for strategic decision. So here are some of the 21st century common approaches. First is e-learning. E-learning is education delivered via electronic device like computers, tablets, and smartphones. It is important because it offers flexibility, accessibility, and personalized learning experience. One of the examples of this is online courses and virtual classrooms. Next is blended learning. Blended learning is a combined traditional face-to-face instructions with the online learning. It is important because it provides a balanced learning experience, integrating the best aspect of both methods. One of the examples of this is a course that includes in-person lectures and online assignment. The next one is gamification. Gamification integrates games elements like points, badges, and leaderboards into learning environments. It is important because it increases the engagement, motivation, and knowledge retention. One of the examples of this is game-based app to learn a new language. Next is social media. Social media utilize social networking platform for collaborative learning and knowledge sharing. It is important because it enhances communication, community building, and access to diverse perspective. One of the examples of this is online study groups on Facebook or Messenger. Next is mobile learning. Mobile learning is learning through a mobile device allowing for education on the go. It is important because it provides convenience, flexibility, and immediate access to learning resources. One of the examples of this is using a mobile app to study during a commute. Next is digital engagement. Digital engagement involves learners actively participating with the digital tools and resources. It is important because it fosters critical thinking, creativity, and digital literacy. One of the examples of this is interactive simulation and virtual labs. The next one is podcast. Podcast is using audio broadcast to deliver educational content. It is important because it offers on-demand learning, catering to auditory learners. One of the examples of this is listening to educational podcast while exercising. Next is Twitter. Twitter is utilizing the microblogging platform for quick updates, discussions, and resources sharing. It is important because it facilitates real-time interaction, networking, and access to current trends. One of the examples of this is following expert in a field and participating in a relevant discussion. Next is open learning. Open learning provides free and accessible educational resources to anyone and to anywhere. It is important because it promotes inclusivity, lifelong learning, and democratization of education. One of the examples of this is massive open online courses. And lastly, YouTube. YouTube is a utilized platform using a video sharing platform to access educational content. It is important because it offers visual and auditory learning experience, tutorial, and demonstration. One example of this is watching instructional videos to learn new skills.
Constructivist learning theory suggests that the learner construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiences and reflecting on those experiences. The key principles of constructive learning theory are: number 1 is active learning. Learners are active in participating, constructing their own knowledge. 2. Prior knowledge. Existing knowledge and experiences shape new learning. 3. Social interaction. Learning often involves collaboration and social context. 4. Context matter. Learning is influenced by the environment and context. 5 is meaning making. Learners create meaning through interpreting experience. For application for education to student-centered approaches, it encourages active engagement and problem solving. Collaborating learning, group work and discussion can foster knowledge construction. Authentic task, learning activities often mirror real-world challenges. And here are the examples. First, project-based learning. Students work on project that requires applying knowledge in practical way. Second is inquiry-based learning. It also encourages students to explore and discover through questioning. E-learning refers to the learning that is facilitated through electronic means, often via the internet or digital platforms. Technology integration involves incorporating technology, tools, and resources into the learning process to enhance education. The key aspect of e-learning is number 1, online courses. Learning conducted via digital platforms like MOOCs, massive open online courses. Number 2 is digital resources. Uses of materials like ebook, videos, simulation for learning. Number 3 is virtual classroom. Online spaces for live interaction between instructor and learners. Number 4 is blended learning. Mix of traditional face-to-face instruction with online components. Technology integration in education. Tool for collaboration like forum, videos, comprehensive or group work. Learning management system. Platform like Moodle, Canvas for organizing course materials. Number 3 is interactive content, simulation games, quizzes enhancing engagement. Number 4 is mobile learning via mobile device like smartphone or tablet. The benefits of e-learning and technology integration are: number 1 is accessibility. E-learning can reach learning globally. Flexibility often allows learning and one own pace. Technology can help tailoring learning experiences. Interacting tools can enhance learner involvement. Now let's talk about main features interview. The first one is online learning platforms. This is a digital space for courses management, content delivery, assessments, and learning interaction. For example, Moodles and Canvas. The second one is virtual classroom, real-time online session for live teaching and collaboration via video conferencing tools like, for example, Zoom or Google Meet. The third one is gamification. Uses game elements like points, badges, leaderboard to enhance management and motivate in learning. For example, Kahoot. Number 4 is AI adaptive learning tools. Personalized learning at using AI based on learning performance and needs, for example, Newton or Dreambox. The key benefits of this is number 1 is flexibility, online access anytime, anywhere, engagement, interactive and defined elements, boost motivation, and last one is AI adapt to individual learning needs.
So now let's move for the fourth topic, which is the adult learning principles. According to Erasmus et al. 2017, adult learning is defined as educations and learning by adults aimed at assisting students in fulfilling their roles as educators, workers, citizens, and parents. So, adult learning principles is all about the ways in which adults gain knowledge, skills, and understanding to help them in different parts of their lives. Unlike children, adults usually learn with a specific purpose in mind, such as improving their work skills, being a better parent, or participating more effectively in their community. So, adult learning principle can happen in many settings like schools, workplaces, online courses, uh, workshop, or even through everyday experiences. And the main goal is to help adults grow and perform better in the roles they already have or wants to take on, whether as teachers, employees, citizens, or caregivers. And it also often focuses on practical knowledge that can be applied immediately in real life situations. And there are 8 adult learning principles. First is the adult have a higher sense of self-direction and motivation. Adults use their life experience to facilitate learning. Adults are focused on achieving goals. Adults need to know how the information is relevant. Adults are practical. Adults are looking for help and mentorship. Adults are open for modern ways of learning. And last, an adult want to choose how they learn. Adults learn differently from children because they have more experience and a clear sense of purpose. They have a higher sense of self-direction and motivation, meaning they like to take control of their learning and are driven by goals that matter to them. And adults use their life experience to understand and connect with new information, making learning more meaningful. They are goal focused and want to learn things that help them achieve personal or professional objectives. Adult learning must be relevant, showing them why the information matters and how it applies to real life. Adults are practical learners who prefer hands on approaches they can apply immediately. They often seek help and mentorship to guide their learning process. And they are open to modern learning methods, including technology based tools, and they value choice and flexibility. They wanting to decide how, when, and where they learn. The purpose of this learning is to help adults grow personally and professionally by gaining knowledge and skills that are meaningful and useful in their lives. Adults learn to improve themselves, advance in their careers, and achieve specific goals while solving real life problems and making better decisions. Learning This learning allows them to apply knowledge practically in work and daily situations. They contribute positively to their families and communities. And they are stay updated in a rapidly changing world nowadays. Adult learning supports lifelong growth, helping adults adapt, remain motivated, and continue developing throughout their lives.
So the next is characteristic of adult learners and circumstances that affect adult learners. So this is the characteristic. The number one is need to know principle. The number two is autonomous and self-direct. 3. Experience. 4. Goal-oriented. 5. Ready to learn. And 6. General life orientation. 7. Motivation to learn. 8. Need for respect. And 9. Responsibility or self-concept. So, characteristic of adult learners is adult learn best when they understand why they need to learn, can direct their own learning, and connect it to their experience and goal. They are motivated by respect and responsibility, and their self-image affects how they learn. The next is facilitation skills. Facilitation skills are the abilities you need in order to master working with a group. In essence, facilitation is about being aware of what happens when people get together to achieve a common goal and directing their focus and attention in ways that serve the group itself. So, facilitation skills are the abilities to guide and manage a group working together. It means understanding how people interact and helping them stay focused on reaching their shared goals. So, the next is facilitation skills are invaluable in many situations, such as managing team meetings, improving participation and engagement at events and conferences, increasing clarity in group processes, getting everyone on the same page, including a diversity of opinions and stakeholders, evaluating choices, creating action plans as a group, ultimate supporting the group in making actual, effective progress towards its goals. So, the importance of facilitation skills. Facilitation skills help in many situations, like running team meetings, encouraging everyone to participate, making sure the group understands each other, including different opinions, and helping the group make decisions and plans to reach their goals. For example, in the end, the group agrees on the most important safety rules, and everyone promises to follow them.
Case study Starbucks Barista Training Program. Starbucks maintains consistent service quality through a structured and comprehensive barista training program by applying some methods and training approaches in training. Here are some methods they use. Number 1 is on-the-job training or OJT. Practically learning in store with supervision from experienced baristas. Number 2 is instructor-led training. Workshop for customer service, company culture, and safety. And number 3, e-learning modules, interactive videos and lessons for recipes, procedures, and service standards. And the last one is role-playing, simulation practice for real customer interaction to build confidence and consistency.
Assessment and conclusion. Each training delivery method has unique strength. Traditional methods provide instructional knowledge transfer modern and e-learners. Approaching ensure flexibility and adult learning's principle. With facilitation keep training relevant, engaged, and e-learner center. The key of effective training isn't sticking to just one method. It's about blending different approaching that fit the learnings, the goals, and available resources. I will
So this is our key takes away from this module. Topic 4, which is the training delivery methods. First is use traditional methods for foundational knowledge. Next is apply modern and e-learning approaches for flexibility and wider reach. Next is the integrate adult learning principles to keep session relevant and engaging. Next is strengthen facilitation skills to connect methods with learner needs. A blended approach ensures effective, inclusive, and sustainable learning outcomes. And lastly is the goal is to ensure that training improves knowledge, skills, and performance in real-life situations. So that brings us to the end of our report on training delivery methods. But before we end these discussions, quickly recap about this module. We explored the main areas including the traditional training methods, modern approaches, electronic or e-learning integrations, adult learning principles, and facilitation skills. And these insights highlight the importance of choosing the right methods to improve learning outcomes and organizational success. So we hope this discussion has given you useful insights and practical ideas that you can apply in real-world situations. Now, we would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these methods? Do you have any questions, suggestions, or experiences to share related to the topic? So the floor is open for discussion so we can learn from each other's perspectives. So that's all for our discussion today. Thank you for your time and attention. We are the Group 4. I am Marian Isolan together with my groupmates Jose Nino Balo, Jillian Rosagaran, Paula Tuba, and Ashley Santos. It has been our pleasure to present this report.